Okay, we're off to a good start. What is up, everybody? Tough loss tonight. As always, thank you so much for. Okay, first off, I got to back up this camera a little bit. Okay, we're off to a good start. This is going to be a fun show, you guys. All right. Tough loss tonight, you guys. We're going to dive into everything. I took a whole bunch of notes. We're going to talk about the highs, we're going to talk about the lows. We're going to overreact. We're going to play the same game that we played last time. You know, when I asked you guys, it's just one game, but instead we're going to play it's just two games. But we're going to do that later. We're going to react to some Devin Booker and Bradley Beal injury news. And yeah, just really just react to this game. And as I always say, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I know there's a lot of great Phoenix Suns post game content out there, but you guys are choosing to be here with me on Suns Geek, and I really do appreciate it. Do me a favor, you guys, Hulk, smash that like button and please subscribe. Tonight I'm drinking some water, but I also have a Miller High Life. Yeah, the champagne of beers. So even though we lost, let's go ahead and crack this open. Let me know what you guys are drinking in the chat. Cheers. Delicious. Okay, guys. We are going to react to this game. And you guys know how we do things here. I got the piece of paper, I got the pen, and I just took some notes. And we're going to go over the numbers and everything. You guys know how it is. First off, I'm just going to pull up the numbers, but okay. So let's start here, you guys. um, early in the game, Kevin Durant was rolling off a Yusuf Nurkic screen. Grayson Allen found him, which led to the bucket. He rolled off of Nurkic for the screen. Nurk rebounded the ball. He found Grayson Allen, who backpedaled for the wide open three. I liked that. Got to his spot, made the open three. So there was one play where Grayson Allen took the ball up and he shot a three. Eric Gordon jumped up in the air, followed his own shot, and tipped it back in. I thought Eric Gordon was really good in the first half. You know, he sort of was that scoring boost that we needed. It was actually good to see Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon actually hitting their shots. The Suns, I believe, went on a 17-5 run in 5+ minutes in the first half. There was that one play where Nurkic found the cutting Kevin Durant for the easy bucket. And then there was a funny moment with Yusuf Nurkic and Anthony Davis where Anthony Davis was near the free throw line, but kind of on the other side, and he dared AD to shoot. He kind of just stood there and just like shrugged him off, and AD ended up missing. That was a funny moment. Jordan Goodwin, we're going to talk about him in a little bit, but he had, I think, 7 or 10 points in the first half. He looked really good out there. I think I said this last live show, you guys. He's taking advantage of his minutes that he's getting. First off, he's getting first quarter minutes. I think that really stands out right there. But also, he just kind of looks like a whole different player because we know him to be a scrappy, pesky defender. But not only is he taking the ball up the court, but he's finding spots and shots that he can take and make. And I just saw a completely different player out there, in my opinion. He looked really good out there, you guys, especially in that first half. Eric Gordon had that one play where he got called for the technical because he clapped his hands and wanted the foul. But I noticed, I wrote this down in my notes. I noticed a little bit in this game that the Suns would go through stretches, and we're going to talk about this at the very end. The Suns would go through stretches where they just either the ball didn't go in the basket or they could just not score. Early in the first half, the Suns went about 2 to 3 minutes without a score. I think that might have been at the start of the second quarter. Because remember at the end of the first quarter, they were down or they were up 30-18. And then all of a sudden the game was tied. Like the Lakers would go on their run. This was a game full of runs. But I noticed that the Suns seemed a little dry at times and the ball just wouldn't I don't know. We just went scoreless throughout a lot of possessions. Real quick, you guys, I want to get to a super chat here. Shout out to my guy Iverson Vlogs. He says, "Sorry, Geek, but Katie needs Curry to win." Okay, so I tweeted this out, you guys. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, and maybe I'll read some responses later. But send me your best overreactions in the chat right now, and I'll also read some from Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, but send me your best overreactions right now because this is an overreaction. As I said in my video earlier, you guys, it's game 2 out of 82 or 83 because of the playing tournament. But Iverson, appreciate the $1.99 super chat. Thanks for being here, man. Okay. Let's move on here. Some more stats. So remember when I said the Suns won a lot of possessions without scoring? At least it felt that way. Insert Kevin Durant, who was just absolutely taking over. I think Kevin Durant knew he had a really bad first game. And he responded. Maybe it was because he was playing in LA. Maybe it's because he was playing against LeBron James. But Kevin Durant started cooking. The Suns at one point in the game, I believe they outscored the Lakers 20-5. And then KD goes in and ended up going 5 for 5 after checking back in. Anthony Davis had that scoop score with, this was like the first possession of the game. Anthony Davis had a scoop score 23 seconds in. Nurkic got into foul trouble. We'll talk about Nurkic later. Especially in the first quarter, the Suns really struggled with turnovers, and the Lakers did a great job of capitalizing off of those turnovers and scoring. And we're definitely going to talk about the turnovers later, you guys. End of one, the Lakers were shooting 35% from the field. The Suns out-rebounded the Lakers, I believe, by 7. I mentioned the turnovers right there. It was really sloppy. I'm sorry, it wasn't the Suns that got outscored 20-5. The Lakers outscored us. And really it was because, again, the lack of scoring from the Phoenix Suns, but it was the Lakers defense and them just being a little more aggressive and hitting their shots and LeBron being LeBron. And again, foul trouble. Nurkic had 3 fouls by 5:16 left in the first half. Lakers also had 13 assists at halftime. Let's keep going here. This is where it's going to get interesting. I felt like the third quarter was a little stagnant besides the Kevin Durant show, which, yes, we are going to talk about because Kevin Durant was absolutely incredible in this game. But I feel like through stretches of the third quarter, not really a lot happened. I don't know if it was just the Suns' lack of offense or both teams struggling to score. But in that third quarter, it was just kind of a mess until Kevin freaking Durant started to take over. So Shane Young on Twitter had this tweet right here. That the Suns outscored the Lakers by 19 with Kevin Durant on the floor in the first half. So the Suns with Kevin Durant on the floor outscored the Lakers by 19. Shout out to Shane Young for that tweet. There was one possession earlier in the third quarter where Eric Gordon had a really good defensive possession on Taurean Prince, or however you pronounce his first name, Torian. Kevin Durant had 16 in the third quarter. Remember when I said, the third quarter was a little stagnant before the Kevin Durant show? Kevin Durant was just spectacular. He was getting to his spots. He was making his shots. He was aggressive. He was patient. And call this crazy. I think he should have been a little more selfish because I want to see how many turnovers he finished. Okay, this is my point. He had 8 turnovers in this game. There was one specifically that I remember where Nazir Little should have been at the 3-point line, and Kevin Durant chucked it to him, and Nazir had to grab it like this, and he missed it and turned the ball over. I think Kevin Durant should have been a little bit more selfish there. He should have just kept attacking, kept trying to get to his spots. That's just my personal opinion. Which, again, I know that might be some fans out there that are going to say, "Oh, well, Kevin Durant was doing all the scoring tonight." I guess that's kind of my point. I think he should have stayed a little more aggressive, should have been just a little bit more selfish, especially when he finished with 8 turnovers. And again, we are going to talk about the turnovers. Trust me, we will get to it, you guys. Kevin Durant had the last 6 points to close out the third quarter. And here comes the turnover show. With I believe 6:17 left to go, the Suns had 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter. That was with 6:17 left to go, you guys. KD had that nice block on Gabe Vincent. Lakers went on an 8-0 run late in the fourth quarter. That was when LeBron James had those back-to-back sequences where he just barreled through, didn't matter who was guarding him. He split that double team with Nurkic and just drove in. I tweeted this out right before we went live, you guys. The Lakers outscored us 28-11. Let me repeat that. In the fourth quarter, the Lakers outscored us 28-11. And on that note, I need another sip of my beer. By the way, random fact here. As a duo, when they played together, if I heard the broadcast right, I think it was Kevin Harlan who said this. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are now 95 and 50 as a duo when they play together. That's actually pretty good, considering a lot of them have had the injury history, especially Anthony Davis. And really, in terms of just the end of my notes here, you guys, it was just sort of the LeBron James show in the fourth quarter. I mean, he had like 10, 12 points in the fourth quarter alone, just absolutely just took over. And again, the Lakers just outscored us 28-11 in the fourth quarter. And I don't exactly know what we finished with in the fourth quarter, but at one point here, I think there was about 4 minutes left to go. The Suns were shooting, and I kid you not, 1 for 11 from the field. If someone can fact check me what we actually shot in the fourth quarter, let me know, because at the 4:30 mark, we were shooting 1 for 11. I don't know if the Suns just ran out of gas or if the Lakers defense was just that good, or if I hope I'm saying your name right, Quentin Daniels says it's the shot selection that needs to be addressed. Is it maybe just a chemistry kind of thing, like where we're still trying to figure each other out? Is it because Book and Beal weren't on the court tonight? Oh wait, I better be careful what I say about Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, because I got into a huge comment argument with a follower of this channel, and yikes. That's all I got to say about that. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a tough loss, you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, there's still 80 more games to go. Can we just appreciate that for a second, you guys? Not only is basketball back, but we have already played 2 games in the NBA 78th season. We have 2 games with this brand new era of Suns basketball under our belt. And we got 80 more games to go. It is a long season, you guys. Okay, so let me take another sip of my beer, and then we will dive into the actual numbers here. Because I noticed last live show, it's probably because I was like celebrating the Diamondbacks going to the World Series and all that. I kind of forgot to like really dive into the numbers, and that's what we're going to do. And then we'll probably play it's just 2 games, but, overreactions and all that. So let me take a sip of my beer. Cheers. And don't worry, you guys. I got some water here from a really good restaurant, by the way, called Nukes or Nurks or whatever. Yusuf Nurkic. I almost said Nikola Jokic. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, you guys. I see Logan's comment too. We're definitely going to talk about Nurkic. He says Nurkic's fouls and turnovers hurt. I like his fit on the offensive end, but he'll struggle to defend the top centers of the league like AD and others. I think the key, I mean, first off, that comment is pretty damn accurate, but my takeaway from that is I like his fit on the offensive end, but the defensive end is definitely going to be a concern. I do agree with that. All right. By the way, we only lost this game by 5 points for anybody who cares. It's not like it was a blowout or anything. So let's talk about Kevin Durant, you guys, because I feel like he really needs the time here. Do I still have the Kevin Durant drop in here? I do. Let's play the KD drop. It's been a long time. Let's play it. By the way, I'm going to be updating a lot of this stuff, like some of the drops. I'm going to be updating some of like the graphics you see on the screen, and eventually I'm going to get to this wall. I mean, I love the Suns wall and everything, but it's time to switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean? All right, you guys, let's talk about KD. We already talked about the turnovers, and we'll touch on that in a little bit, but he had 39 points in 39 minutes. I am not even joking, you guys. He had 39 points in 39 minutes. And his shooting wasn't bad, you guys. I mean, he couldn't hit a three really tonight. He was 1 for 5 from three, but he was 14 for 28 from the field. Got to the free throw line 10 times. Or he got to the free throw line 13 times and he made 10. Not only that, he had 11 rebounds. He had a block, like I mentioned, on Gabe Vincent. And then again, the turnovers were an issue. You know, that could have been because of the shot selection by the other Suns. It could have been because of, you know, the spacing on the team, or just maybe Kevin Durant was trying not to be as selfish as I mentioned. And again, it's the second game of the season. You got to kind of work out the kinks a little bit. But I remember talking about that last live show after the first game. I was like, the turnovers were definitely a concern, because I wrote it down in my notes, you guys. There were a lot of stretches where the Suns really struggled turning the ball over. You know what I mean? Like, and I noticed that again. This is now 2 games in a row where the Suns have really struggled with turnovers. Tonight, we had 20 turnovers and 21 fouls. 20 turnovers and 21 fouls, you guys. Jeez Louise. How many did the Lakers finish with? 23 fouls, 16 turnovers for the Lakers. But that being said, though, Kevin Durant, and I want to make sure I'm getting this right, you guys. I'll share my screen real quick so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Kevin Durant official. Ooh, where did that tweet go? Here it is. Okay, here it is. Let me just pull this up for you guys. We'll share the screen. You guys know the drill. One-man show. Okay, here we go. 12th all-time. Kevin freaking Durant has moved 12th all-time in the NBA's all-time scoring list. You guys know me. I've studied the history of the game, and Kevin Durant is in some elite company right there, you guys. He just passed Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, who has 26,946 points. And now KD is 12th all-time. Next up is Elvin Hayes, excuse me, not Alvin. Elvin Hayes, 27,313 points. And by the way, you guys, personal opinion here, Elvin Hayes was a pretty dang good big man. Might be a little bit overlooked just because of the era that he played in, but go look up his resume on Basketball Reference. One of the greatest big men of all time. That's all I got to say. And eventually KD is probably going to pass his scoring record too. So big shout out to KD, man. We had to give him his flowers. And let's move on here, though. Let's keep talking. Let's keep breaking down the numbers. Let me know what you guys thought of Josh Okogie tonight. I thought he was pretty damn good. 2 for 4 from 3, played 33 minutes. We all know what he does on the defensive end, but he had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. One specific play that I tweeted out, and I think this was kind of early in the game, was it might have been Grayson Allen who missed the three, but Josh Okogie flew in there, saved the I'm sorry, it wasn't, or I forgot what it was, but Josh Okogie flew in, saved the rebound, and it led to an Eric Gordon three. That's what I was trying to think of. Josh Okogie just does those little things, you know what I mean? That he does the little things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but really are big for the Phoenix Suns in the long run. Even just little plays like that where he just skies in, hustles for the rebound, and it leads to an Eric Gordon three. I love that. Absolutely love that by Josh Okogie. Let's keep breaking down the numbers here, you guys. Okay, let's talk about it. Nurkic. And I think Logan's comment earlier kind of summed it up. You know, he's a good fit on offense, but you know, the turnovers and the fouls hurt. Excuse me. He did struggle to guard Anthony Davis, but I will say this though, in all fairness to Nurkic, you know that Anthony Davis or any Laker for that matter is going to get those calls because one, it's the Lakers, two, it's, you know, Anthony Davis as well, but still, I do agree. He did get outworked and he did struggle to guard Anthony Davis. 28 minutes tonight, 4 points, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Somehow ended up with 3 steals. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, not the best Nurkic game besides a few sequences, which I sort of noted earlier. Eric Gordon, I thought was good, at least in the first half. 15 points, but he went 6 for 16 from the field, 2 for 8 from threes. Got to start hitting those threes. Grayson Allen, you guys saw how bad he was in that first game, and you saw how even though he had a couple shots here and there, he wasn't that good tonight. I don't know what happened to preseason Grayson Allen, you guys. Maybe it's just a stretch, but I haven't seen much. One thing one thing specifically I haven't seen from Grayson Allen is really just the aggressiveness that I saw in the preseason. Does that make sense? I haven't seen much of that. Maybe he's trying to be a team player, but maybe he's not being aggressive enough. I don't know. I haven't seen the same Grayson Allen that, you know, we saw in the preseason. I'm looking at the numbers here. You know, we sort of talked about Jordan Goodwin, 30 minutes tonight, 6 for 15 from the field, and he finished with 4 points. He also had 2 assists and 2 steals. I really believe if he keeps getting minutes, you guys, he's going to be in the rotation full time because he really is proving it. Now, again, it's just 2 games. But one thing that I keep noting is that it's the first quarter minutes. He gets those first quarter minutes, and that is over guys like, you know, and I put this in quotations, the Suns' 5th starter in Keita Bates-Diop, over guys like Chimezie Metu, Bol. Now, again, this is all going to change when Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant are healthy. But I think Jordan Goodwin deserves more minutes, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do throughout the regular season. Let's just quickly continue to dive into the numbers, and then we're going to segue into the injury stuff, and then we're going to react to a couple other things, and then we'll probably wrap the show up. Okay, so both teams tonight, I just want to refresh the page to make sure this is accurate. Both teams tonight shot 42%. Technically, the Lakers shot 43% if you round it out. Not a good three-point shooting night from either team, you guys. It may not seem that way, but it's true. The Suns shot 29% from 3, 9 for 31. The Lakers shot 5 for 29, good enough for 17%. But the Lakers got to the free throw line 23 or 29 times and made 23 of them, so 79%. We won the rebounding battle 49-42. And I forgot how many rebounds the Warriors had last game, but the Suns had 60. The Suns had 60 rebounds last game, and tonight they had 49. I feel like last season we couldn't really say that. You know what I mean? And good point here from Alan, who says Nurkic with only 1 rebound in the second half. Yeah, that's got to change like immediately, you guys. But hey, we still won the rebounding battle. I will say that. Okay. One thing I'm noting right here that for some reason bothers me. We only had 16 assists tonight, you guys. 16. I forget how many we had last game, but that seems like a low number, man. 16 assists. The Lakers had 24. We had 24 turnovers, like I mentioned before. Lakers only had 16. They killed us in the points in the paint battle. Good God. 60 to 36 points in the paint battle. Oh my God. Just a tough loss, you guys. Like I mentioned, it's going to take some time. There will be nights like this where we go, I guess droughts is the word I was looking for, or trying to look for, where the ball just won't go in the basket. The Suns are going to have many scoring droughts. But I will say this, on the optimistic side, it wasn't a blowout, you guys. The game was close up until the final 2 minutes. And I want to read this tweet just in case I'm getting it. I don't want to paraphrase it wrong, but Zona had this tweet right as the game ended, and I'll share it real quick so you guys can read it too. Zona's a great follow, by the way. Go follow him on Twitter right now. And I just want to zoom in so you guys can kind of get a better look here. Okay, here we go. Let's lower this. He said the Lakers barely scraped by the Suns without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Regardless of how putrid the fourth quarter was, I'd be a lot more concerned if I were them. The Suns just need their engines to the offense, plain and simple. Look, it's way early in the season to know who's good, to know who's bad. But he might be right, you guys. And that's why I'm trying to stay optimistic. We didn't get blown out. LeBron literally took over in the final, 4 minutes of this game, especially the last minute. We just ran out of gas. We just couldn't hit shots. We were turning the ball over. We were fouling like crazy. And the Lakers only won by 5. So, and sort of like last game. I mean, I know we won last game, but we had a whole bunch of turnovers. Nurkic and Allen couldn't hit a shot last game. Devin Booker was Devin Booker, but Kevin Durant struggled. You know what I mean? We haven't seen this team. I forgot to take down the Kevin Durant graphic, by the way, but we haven't seen this team not only at full strength, but we haven't even really seen this team fully together for a full game because that didn't happen in the preseason. In the preseason, our big three was on the bench by halftime. You know what I mean? It's just game 2 out of an 82 game season. I think we'll be okay, you guys. So let me get to some tweets here. And then we're gonna react to a couple more things here. Just give me a second here. I'm just reading some of the replies. I didn't get too many replies yet, but let's read some overreactions. So do me a favor, you guys. In the chat right now, I'm going to pull this up right now. In the chat, I want you to pull up, or I want you to leave a comment. It's just 2 games, but fill in the blank. It's just 2 games, but. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to read you. In fact, I'll just pull it up. Just go to my mentions right now. By the way, I won something from I think it's PHNX Fits, Suns Uni Tracker and all them. We'll react to that later though. So I tweeted this out 35 minutes ago. Follow me on Twitter, by the way. Let me just share the screen. Okay, there's that. Okay. Let me just take a sip real quick. So I said, send me your overreaction, Suns fans. Now, I didn't get too many. The tweet's only been out for 35 minutes. But Coda Kid says, I love this. I love this response from Coda Kid. Trade everybody. Fire James Jones. We lost the trade. That's so good. Jam says, Lakers got, sorry, blah, blah, I can't read. Lakers gut this one out. Suns had 9 or 10 turnovers. I respect James for playing the playing the fourth, I think is what he meant to say. I love Chris's answer right here. Season is over. 1-1 record. Shut it down. Yes, Suns fans, let's overreact. We're 2 games in. We lost our first game, but let's shut it down. Season's over. Bradley Beal's injured. Devin Booker's injured. I haven't even talked about that injury stuff yet, but don't worry, we're gonna get into it. Grayson Allen's Mickey Mouse preseason is over. He tricked us. He's just Shaman 2.0. That's so good. Lando says we good. My guy Ryan says I'll give it 20 games before I have any real feel, but some of these guys played like garbage. Nathan Parker says bench has been underwhelming these 2 games. Turnovers are ridiculous, and it pissed me off that every possession we had KD was shooting the ball, especially when the shot selection wasn't great. Like other people can't make a shot if they aren't given the opportunity. That's a funny response. It's a good answer. I like that answer. Bruno says, we ain't making the playoffs with this team. It's over. So good. Wow, I actually got a lot more responses on this than I thought. Twitter must have just been taking a while to update. Sold the game so KD could come 1 point short of 40. Unserious team, never going to win a championship. Beal is never recovering. The worst trade ever. Okay, that's a little too negative. Bench guys nowhere to be found. Okogie, only one playing hard. I would argue that. That's not really accurate. Bench hasn't been great with closing games. The little I'm fine meme with that kid crying and all that. Yeah, the bench guys were scared at the clutch. Grayson has been so bad. Here's a little positivity. Not worried. And then a follow-up tweet. Suns fans who are mad about this loss are weirdos. So I see some responses. I will get to them. Then we're going to talk about the injury news. Let's see. Where does it start at? Let me just go back to the full screen here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So we're playing it's just 2 games, but. And Abraham says, it's just 2 games, but this shows us how bad turnovers and fouls can hurt us. Preach. Preach, Abraham. That's what I'm talking about, man. Michael says, it's just 2 games, but it feels like game 50. Calm down. We're going to be okay, you guys. It's just 2 games, but the refs hate us. Preach. They always have. They always will. I agree with that. Just disappointed because we really should have won this game. We kind of gave this game away. Yeah, I agree with that a little bit. Anthony says it's just 2 games, but the refs are worse this year. Kidding, not kidding. Suns need to go on a killer streak, says my man Manuel. Appreciate the super chat, man. Back-to-back super chats from Gambino here. He says, don't give an F what people say. Suns are winning the championship. That's the positivity we need right there. I'm going to chug this to that. Cheers to that. The Suns are winning the championship. Cheers. You donate back-to-back super chats like that, and you have an excellent comment like that, I have to chug the rest of my beer and some water. Delicious. Coda, I don't know if you saw, but I read your tweet on the stream just now. All right, you guys. Okay, good segue here, Vision. Appreciate the segue here. Okay, so I made that video earlier today where I was kind of just trying to calm Suns fans down because there was so much drama, negativity on Suns Twitter about Bradley Beal's injury. And 2 hours later, and I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Excuse me. Because it was even mentioned on the broadcast from Jared Greenberg, who works for NBA TV and NBA on TNT and all that. So let me just make sure I'm getting this right here. Okay. And I'll share the tweet so you guys can see it. Remember, this was like 2 hours before the game. So this is Jared Greenberg here from, NBA on TNT, NBA TV and all that. He had this tweet and he even talked about it on the broadcast. He said, Devin Booker is out tonight due to a left foot sprain, which he suffered during Tuesday's win at Golden State. A team source tells me Booker is aiming to return to action Tuesday, pending the results of an MRI, which he will receive when the team returns home. So that was Jared Greenberg talking about that. Now, the Bradley Beal thing, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know if anybody put it out there. And I think maybe Frank Vogel commented on it where he was saying like, yeah, these guys are injured. Like he said something like, I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, they're not like super injured, but they can't play tonight is I think what he was saying. So I don't exactly know how all of this started. I don't know if it was just some reporters putting out some bad stuff, but John Hollinger of The Athletic, and I like this tweet, like I retweeted it. And again, I don't know how it started, but John Hollinger said, since people seem deeply confused by this, they have an injury designation. They're not resting. The league isn't coming after them. Nobody is load managing the second effing game of the season with a day off on either side. Move along. So I feel like John Hollinger was kind of defending us there because I'm sure there was like some reporters and trolls and haters saying the Suns are load managing. And again, I can't confirm that. I'm just assuming. And here's why I'm assuming it, because one of John's beautiful tweet here where he said they're not resting. The league is not coming after them. Nobody is load managing on the second effing game of the season. Move along. But here's another reason. Tony Jones, who I also believe works for The Athletic, had a great follow-up tweet. There was a lot of irresponsible stuff being tweeted this afternoon from people who should know better. So feel free to fact check me in the comments. But right now, Bradley Beal is just out with an injury. A back injury. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know, you guys. I mean, it's game 2 out of 80. I think we'll be okay, you guys. That's all I'm saying. I wish I had more sources and inside information on this, but I guess we'll find out because the Suns have their home opener on Saturday. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of news before Saturday. Okay, let me just make sure. Ooh, speaking of injuries, before we move on here, and the NBA on TNT had this picture earlier. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I thought it was interesting. In the last 2 years, Devin Booker's missed 44 games. That does include tonight. Bradley Beal's missed 112 in the last 4 years. Durant's missed 99 in the last 3. And Nurkic has missed 165 in the last 4. Don't know why I felt like I had to read that to you guys, but I just want to let you guys know. So I think that's honestly it, you guys. There's more I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to save it for later, maybe like tomorrow or before Saturday's show or something like that. Speaking of Saturday, shout out to my guy, John from the Suns Jam Session podcast. He was in my pregame show the other day and he invited me on. So pretty much Saturday, I'll be live with the Suns Jams, on both channels. You guys know how it is. But I think we'll be okay. Coda Kid says they just playing it safe. Exactly. And I really meant what I said earlier, you guys, in my video. Like, I feel like we all know Devin Booker pretty well. He literally wants to play in every single game possible if he could. But, sometimes the medical staff and the doctors and all that, they say no. And you don't want to risk further injury. We've seen that before. I'm sure Booker really wanted to be out there tonight, but he couldn't. So I think that's it, you guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Appreciate all of the support. I appreciate the super chats. By the way, Gambino, like earlier, with the great $10 super chat, back to back, by the way. Iverson Vlogs also with the super chat. And thank you to everybody that watched along live. You guys are all real ones. I do appreciate it. Like I said, you guys stay tuned. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, I was at I think we're almost at 8,500, which is amazing. And again, the fact that you guys watch me with so much great Suns post game content out there, you guys choose to watch me. That really does mean a lot. And look, sometimes I can fall into the trap of Suns Twitter, especially when they're negative. And sometimes I can be a little negative too. But we just need to relax, you guys. I know that we're all anxious and excited to see the big three finally play. But it's a long season, you guys. Think about it. It's not even November yet. We still got games in January and February. It's a long season, you guys. We're going to be okay. One game at a time, you guys. And every game's going to be different. And if I can get a little optimistic before we get out of here, we weren't obviously fully healthy tonight. Kevin Durant literally carried us, and we only lost by 5. Once we can cut out those turnovers, which both Kevin Durant and Frank Vogel have talked about, by the way, and once our other guys can start hitting some shots, and once our big three is out there, I don't know how teams are going to stop us. Anthony says, KD, Gordon, and Goodwin were great tonight. Go Suns, game 3. Can't wait. Manuel says, I think we get better and win on Saturday, regardless of who plays. Exactly. Appreciate this, Derek. He says, don't forget to hit the like notification for Suns Geek. Yes. Crush that like button, y'all. Turn on those notifications. I am trying to upload as much Suns content as possible. I've been a little busy / tired the last couple of days. There was a couple of videos I wanted to put out. I'll eventually get to them, or I'll talk about them on a live show. Like the whole Drew Eubanks thing. Remember when we got docked a 2024 pick? I talked about that on TikTok, but I didn't talk about it on YouTube. It's just been busy. You guys get it. Real life comes first, as I always say. But trust me, you guys, more content on the way. I promise you guys, I'm going to do my best. I literally put in overtime for you guys so I can try to pump out the best Suns content that I can. So on that note, you guys, I'm out of here. I know it's kind of a shorter live show, even though it's 46 minutes, but I am going to get out of here. Enjoy what's left of the rest of my night. Seriously, you guys are amazing. I love you guys, for real. Without you guys, this channel is nothing. So, last comment here from Gambino. Just wait 10 games and look how the boys are going to play. No mercy for anyone. Most NBA fans can't wait for the Suns to lose. And I agree with that. We just got to wait. It's still very early. We're not even 10 games. We're not even 15 games in. You know what I mean? Let's give this team some time. We're going to be okay, Suns fans. Coda Kid, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all of you guys. I'm out of here. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Be kind to people. Be patient to people. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more Phoenix Suns content. And as always, if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. As Tony says, one-man show. You guys know the drill. One-man show here. And yeah, I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. Go Suns.